The opinions expressed on this program are those of the program host and guest and are not necessarily those of this station, management, staff, and sponsors. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Crown Car Care Show. Call in with questions and comments, 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Now, here's your host.
Welcome aboard, everybody. Today is August 12th, and today is a special day.
It is.
In fact, you're going to have to play the school bus sound.
All right. I just happen to have that queued
So,
up.
yeah, let's get the school bus.
All right.
Here we are.
All right.
School has started in Martin County,
I
Florida.
love it. Nice.
First day, traffic everywhere. And, of course, what happens when school lets out when there's a downpour?
Oh,
Backups everywhere,
Oh,
flashing lights.
kids get to splash in
But
puddles.
that's right. But we got the school bus sound going down the road. We got a great show in store today. We really do. We've got some news
All right.
with Tesla. We've got
Yes.
news with General Motors that's a little gloomy.
Yeah.
We've got some great news about Lucas Oil Products out of Indiana. I'll talk about that.
That's pretty slick stuff.
We are a exclusive distributor of it here in Martin County. We have it at both locations, Lucas Oil Products.
Yes.
And we'll also be talking about this big financial mountain that could be hit on General Motors.
Yeah. So if you own GM stock, now's the time to sell.
Yeah, it's big. And we'll give you the breaking news on it. And other than that, it's mid-August.
Yeah.
The summer blues? No, the endless summers.
It's
endless summer nights.
Yeah, but this is a happy time for moms and dads.
My wife, here's a short story.
Okay.
My wife said that after she had dropped off the kids today at school,
Right.
there was a mother celebrating in her vehicle after she had dropped her kids off, dancing and clapping and the celebratory dance.
There it is.
I guess there's a new thing now when you
Okay,
get your kids
do
back
that.
to school.
Mhm.
I don't remember my mom doing that, but then again, I rode the school bus, so I never got to experience such elation.
Elementary school for me was actually just down the street at the end of the block.
Oh, so you walked.
I walked to school. And then
Fabulous.
And then my junior high school was just another block or two down the street.
Oh,
Yeah.
super.
How's that? A little better?
Yeah. Now I
All
hear a little bit better
Okay,
now.
all right. Good. Crank you up.
I have to hear myself every
Oh,
once in a while
yes.
speak.
Yeah.
Let's give us some news. I've got some Tesla news if you want to fire away.
You know, all right. Well, let me get to that.
I'll start
screen.
on mine.
All right. Go ahead.
Here's a new thing. U.S. waives tariff on Tesla's battery cells.
Okay.
The U.S. Commerce Department has agreed to Tesla Incorporated's request to waive 10% tariffs on imported aluminum from Japan used in the manufacture of battery cells at the Nevada. Now, this is a new word, I think. Gigafactory.
Yes. Gigafactory is something that he's developed. That's what he calls them.
I've
now.
never heard that. Gigafactory.
Yes. Yes.
I bet it's big.
It's huge. Huge doesn't even describe
You
it.
probably need one of those. What are those scooters that balance themselves to get from one end to the other?
Yes.
What is it called?
I forget, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking
They
about.
kind of
Yeah.
weave and you balance on them.
Right. Yeah.
The waiver is good for 1 year.
Okay.
The Commerce Department said in a document dated June 5th and posted on a government website in recent days that the aluminum is not produced in the United States in a sufficient and reasonable amount or of satisfactory quality. So they got a waiver due to the fact that apparently they can't get this aluminum of this high quality and or sufficient amount here in the United States. Therefore,
They have to reach elsewhere.
Therefore, they shouldn't be tariffed.
Right.
I just hope there's not a spin involved.
No.
I'm detecting a little spin.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't know. 10% tariff reduction. How'd they do last quarter?
Who, Tesla?
Yeah.
Tesla was kind of, their expenses were high, so they were pretty flat.
Now dropping 10% on aluminum costs, would that help them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I don't know. Always thinking.
But I think that their expenses were pretty high because they're building the Gigafactory and all that. They're investing.
And didn't
They're
something
investing in
happen with the
themselves.
Securities and Exchange Commission where there was a fine paid?
About 20 million.
How much?
20. 20.
Where'd that come from? You don't think it.
Well, he took some of it he took from his own pocket, and then he wrote the other 20 from his business account.
You don't think there was a lot of spare tires and pieces of aluminum on sale at Craigslist over there in Hayward, California, do you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. Oh, jeez. That's pretty funny stuff.
Okay. Give me some
Okay.
more news, Frank.
All right. Well, Florida can prove its AV chops. Companies and other groups looking to further probe the limits of self-driving technology have now dedicated a proving ground in the Sunshine State.
That's a good. We need to unpack this a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do some more research maybe. For
This is
next
interesting.
week.
So what's going on in a nutshell is what I gather is they've got an off-site place
Mhm.
that I wonder if an individual owner could bring their Tesla there, put it in track mode, and do the self-driving themselves.
I think this is strictly for manufacturers to do some EV
Well, where's
testing.
it located?
It doesn't say.
Well, I was thinking that we could go on another test.
Drive. That was too fun last time.
But we
I
could
still have whiplash from when you were
No,
driving.
not me. It
Whoa.
was you.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't think so. I asked the guy if they had grandma mode, and he says, "Yeah, we actually do."
I did accelerate
You
at
did.
a linear rate.
You did a fine job.
Of getting out of that parking lot at the Gardens Mall.
Make sure the car had some get up and go, and it
It
did.
did, it did go.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. It did accelerate.
Oof. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
here I have a picture of this new Tesla pickup
Oh
truck,
yes.
which
yes.
is very interesting.
Right. But I
It's-
don't think it has.
I don't
this-
know if it's a hardcore pickup though.
It doesn't have the steroidal
aspect
image
or look of.
the Rivian.
Here it is, right here.
Yes.
It looks like to me like a Model 3 with a bed on the back.
Yeah, I think you got it exactly right.
Yeah.
I think the Rivian, when that car comes out, that
Yeah,
pickup
that's-
truck is going to
to
just
be a bestseller, I can
Oof.
assure you it's going to be.
yeah,
And you know, Ford has invested. I forgot the number.
500 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know that there's because if you look at the picture of the Rivian, and no one you can't see it here, but I urge every one of you to go look on go type in Rivian pickup and you'll see
It's a handsome
it's
truck.
a real pickup,
Yeah.
and it has strange eerie markings of an F-150. If you look at it, you don't think there's a
Yeah.
connection. do you?
Maybe a slight one.
A $500 million connection.
A little bit of literary license there.
That's right.
Yes.
But it is a
Mhm.
fine
Yes.
automobile. And I'm actually glad that their oversight is provided by Ford. Ford's always done a stand-up job in everything they do.
Mhm.
And they always come clean on the recalls, even with your situation.
Yeah.
They stood up to the plate. It was
Yeah.
a little challenging there at times, but they did
Mhm.
ultimately do the right thing. And they've
Yep.
always done, they leveraged all their properties prior to the big downfall we had in 2008, which enabled them to not take any of the bailout money.
Yeah.
None. They were the only manufacturer.
And that was
But-
primarily
but
the
they
reason.
But it was primarily the reason because they had owned all their properties and they mortgaged them prior to the fall.
Right.
Quite clever.
Yes.
I mean, it's good business sense.
Good business savvy.
Because they
Mhm.
could have not done that,
Right.
held that in the pocket as a back door,
Right.
and still taken free money and been more ahead of the game if they'd done it the other way.
Right.
But they did the right thing,
Right.
and now they're blessed with it because they do have quite a lineup. The only thing is we've talked about it is this lacking of auto. They're stopping the sedans.
Yeah.
But it's what happens.
Right. Well, because sedans were 50% of the automotive industry. Now they're less than 30%.
And people aren't buying them.
Yeah.
People
So
want the SUVs. They want
so-
the soccer moms want the vans
Right.
and the SUVs, and
they're
it is
reading
what
the-
it is.
right.
I can't. If I preach out to the world that everyone should buy a car and no one wants it, it doesn't matter what I have to say.
Right.
It doesn't matter what I sell
Right.
or try to sell. If people aren't buying it, I'm going to go out of business.
And let's face it, sedans will give you a better ride.
Yes, they will.
There's no doubt
There'll
about
be a
it.
comeback. Station wagons are making a big comeback, and we haven't talked about
Yeah.
this Volvo that's out there. That's a fabulous automobile. In fact, I was just reading an article from Jamie Kitman here in Automobile Magazine, and he was talking about this new Volvo, the V60, which is their new station wagon.
Mhm.
Jamie Kitman's a famous staff writer for, I believe, Automobile Magazine since its onset, the magazine, at least 25 years. And he was saying it's one of his favorite cars, this Volvo station wagon. Very, very good, smooth lines. It's quite popular and it's really selling. So, station wagons.
Yeah.
There is, I mean, I can't see everybody wanting it, but
Hey, our family grew up on station wagons when I was a kid.
Yeah, we had what they call a country squire.
Yeah.
I, I think of some guy blowing a trumpet, in the
Hmm.
in the outreaches of England.
Did you get
somewhere.
with the wood grain panels?
Well, of course. The
Oh,
genuine vinyl wood grain panels.
yeah. No, on the outside it was that contact paper.
It was contact paper is what it was. It was sold by Vandy, right? Because it was vinyl.
It was, yeah, contact.
3M vinyl, probably 3M probably made it.
Very likely.
Because
Yeah.
didn't you sell some 3M products that were for the wallpaper? Were they involved?
No,
in that
actually,
at all?
we sold.
Or was it Borden?
Borden? We sold a lot of Borden products. One of the things that we sold in wallpaper was an offshoot of the aerospace industry was the Mylar wallpaper.
That had that weird filmy.
Right, that shiny. I mean, look
Yeah,
like
and they use that. You know where that was first used? That was first used
for the space program.
as well as the balloons that they would bring up into. They'd fill it with
Right.
the helium and the helium actually.
Right, but they had to produce a bunch of it for the space program.
Right, very
And-
interesting material.
And so they came to the wall covering manufacturers and says, "Can you use this stuff?"
And
And the wallpaper people scratched their head. They had the hardest time finding a substrate to attach it to.
but you sold
make
it.
it
You
work.
sold it.
Oh God, yes, we sold a buttload of it back in the '60s and the
And you probably
70s.
have you installed it
We did. I
You
got
did, and
involved
how-
in a few.
because you're a one-arm paper hanger
well, yes. Back in the '70s, as a kid working my way through school.
with
Yeah.
that wallpaper brush mixing. Remember the long container, the yellow rectangular plastic container you put the gook in
Oh yeah.
and you soak it. You had to soak it for a little bit.
Pre-pasted wallpaper.
Then you'd pull it out and cut
They
it.
actually had to develop a clay-based adhesive so they could stick the Mylar to the wall because traditional wallpaper just would. That stuff had so much tensile strength to it.
Oh, it's strong stuff.
That was nuts. Yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
So how about some more news?
We did digress, didn't we?
I have a couple more bits.
Okay,
if you
go
want me to
ahead.
get-
Go ahead.
Okay, here's an interesting forecast about car sales.
All right.
And you were touching on it with Tesla talking about selling strictly to the self-driving industry with
Yeah.
Uber, etc.
Right.
Although I'm going to talk about Uber in the next comment because there's a big thing in the pipeline about Uber in California and whether
Mhm.
you're a full-time employee or not. And this is getting to the crux of this whole
Okay.
me economy. But let me talk about the automotive industry. Bank of America Merrill Lynch predicts that the U.S. auto industry will face a 30% drop by 2002.
Yeah.
Or 2022. That's a big.
Yeah.
Remember, the industries are based off the margin. A 10% drop is your gravy.
Yeah.
The rest of it is covering fixed costs.
Mhm.
Your last 10% of your auto sales each year is throwing off the profit.
Mhm.
The rest of it's covering costs.
Yeah.
It's not profit on each car
Right.
like most people think.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You go through 70% of the year before you start seeing any daylight.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, really.
Fourth quarter really tells the tale.
That does.
Yeah.
And that I say a 30% drop is a big monster to drop, which means somebody isn't going to make it.
Right.
And I don't know who that is, but we can talk about it. But talking about Uber and Tesla has prognosticated. Why don't you talk about it? Hasn't he
So
said-
one of the things that Elon Musk talks about is the future of cars. He's thinking that he probably won't be selling cars, as I understand it. And what his thought is that he will lease the cars. When they come off of lease, the cars will be repurposed to be self-Ubered vehicles.
Very interesting
Yeah.
concept, except Uber now and Lyft are facing a monumental hurdle
Yeah.
in the state of California. There's hearings going on that they are going to be classified. Uber and Lyft want to be classified as a third type of employment.
Oh.
Not a contractor, not a direct employee, but like this third gray area that gives them some leeway in terms of benefits and things. Because what's happening is you've heard me preach this thing.
Yeah.
There's nobody in charge.
Yeah.
Of these subcontractors that are delivering supposedly a uniform valued product and service throughout the country.
Right.
I've heard some interesting one in 6 Uber cars was tested compared, and it has more bacteria than a toilet seat in the bathroom.
Yikes.
Okay. Yes, true
Oof.
facts.
Ooh.
That I'm stating the fact
Oof.
here. So what
That's
I'm getting,
pretty-
there's no, and what 30%, 20% of all cars, or
So bring your
15% of cars that are in Uber service, I believe I read that have an open safety recall.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oof.
it's
Yeah.
problematic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because you have no oversight. You've got independent contractors hustling a buck, but are they shirking? The word is shirking their duties in regards to safety and uniform quality
Right.
for the general welfare of the population that is using their services.
Right.
I think it's shirking going on.
Hmm.
I think there's shortchanging going on in our society
Right.
due to this whole I'm a self-contractor, keeping all the money program. There is something that can be said about employee-based employment.
Right. Right. And it's shirking responsibility.
It's societal standards.
Right.
And that's
right.
where the issue, I think, surfaces.
So on now Joan, our crack assistant.
she's been. I'm going to tell you, sometimes she doesn't surface for weeks. She's out in the field, deep in research. I mean, she goes undercover sometimes.
She does, but she came out.
She surfaced for air.
She did, and she provided us an outstanding list of the best new model subcompact luxury SUVs, which is the 2019 Volvo, the XC40. All right.
Yes.
The best selling compact car, the 2019 Honda Civic.
Okay.
Mid-size car is the Honda Accord. I hear the word Honda quite a bit here. Some compact SUV 2019 is the Hyundai Kona. I guess that made the.
That's a nice car.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The compact SUV 2019 CRV Honda, and the mid-size SUV 2019 Honda Pilot.
Honda again. How many is Hondas on there? Quite a bit, like 20%,
They pretty much own
25%.
the list so far.
Oh.
And then full-size SUV is the 2019 Ford Expedition.
Well, I'll tell you, Honda's been coming out with some
Yeah.
good cutting edge
Mhm.
design. You know, Hondas have been known to be boring like Toyotas.
Mhm.
You know, where it's just
Right. Yeah. Just
boring.
get the job done.
Get the job done, make it
Right.
a good vehicle. But Honda's coming out with some look.
Yeah.
They got some look.
And then the minivan, right? 2019 Honda Odyssey
Oh.
made the best new model.
There
again.
you go again, Honda.
So,
So Honda must have something going on.
And then rolling down to the electric hybrid cars, the 2019 Honda Clarity made the list.
Yeah, just
So-
just Honda's.
Yeah, I mean, they're really, wow.
Well, it's it.
Yeah.
Again, though, it's not. I can't be biased. I mean,
Right.
this is real factual data,
Right.
and that's what data does.
It-
Data eliminates
Your
this,
feelings.
and it really
Yeah.
gives the facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this
right.
is it. Honda's got something going on. We're gonna have to do a show on Honda.
I think so.
You want to do a show on Honda?
I would
think we
love
should. I think we should do a show.
They're
on
very
Honda.
shy. I've
Do
approached
we have
them.
any inside people at Honda?
We do. But,
We do.
but their salespeople are very shy, unlike
Yeah, but
the
don't we
Tesla.
have an inside
We
spy?
do have an inside person. But I will
Okay.
tell you, on the luxury car, the Lexus ES made the list.
They always do, though. The
Yeah.
ES is the Camry version of the
Mhm.
Lexus. You know that
Mhm.
it's the same platform.
Right.
Great vehicle. ES 330 is
Yes.
it's a known bestseller for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So
there
it's
it
good to. I really like the ES, by
Yeah.
the way.
is. Thank
great
you, Joan,
vehicle.
for that.
Thank you, Joan. Now she's going deep undercover again, I guess, to do some research.
Yeah. So earlier today, or it was over the weekend, because this happened in Russia, so I'm not too sure exactly when the time
Yes.
was, but there was a Tesla that was driving down the Russian highway,
Okay.
and the driver had it in auto mode,
Oh no.
and it drove into a back end of a tow truck and exploded. Not the tow truck, but the Tesla.
You're kidding.
And so, yeah, it went into a fire. The driver, Alexei Trikatov, was driving the Model 3 and stated that it was, driving it was the Model S rather, and it hit a tow truck and was servicing the vehicle on a highway near Moscow. According to the local media, he and his two children were severely injured and transported to the
Now
hospital.
let me ask you this: Is this
He had a broken leg.
is this from the deep research state of Joan over?
Yeah.
I mean, she's embedded over there in Russia. And I don't know how she's getting this stuff.
I don't know how she's getting it. out.
I don't know if it's through Facebook or they were talking about, the election was influenced by the Russians, and now we're getting there's some deep
Yeah,
undercover.
they're doing some stuff against Tesla.
And,
But anyway.
and listen, it's not easy getting that stuff overseas.
No.
It takes a lot of research.
So, but he said he had it, and even though he had an autopilot, he said he had his hand on the steering wheel. So my question is, why didn't he know how to put his foot on the brake?
Yeah, but I got a bigger question,
What?
and it begs to be asked.
What?
No, it's not.
Okay, all
it's
right.
serious
serious.
stuff here.
Okay,
serious
all
stuff.
right.
What have you heard me say time
Hmm.
and time again about these self-driving cars and what doesn't this whole
The car really doesn't know where it's at.
And because there is no central oversight for location, traffic lights, other cars need to be communicating with other cars. There needs to be a central database.
Apparently, this Tesla didn't recognize the vehicle in front of it as for what it was.
Because it's relying on cameras and sonar that are strictly to that car. Right. Imagine if that car had a signal. They update Teslas right over the airwaves. Is that correct?
Yes.
But imagine if there was always a kind of like I look at it as the transponder on an airplane that's always emitting a signal.
Right.
Imagine if every car is emitting a signal, being picked up, and then you can pick it up. Your car can also pick it up, so it knows every car that's on the road.
Right.
For the most part. Okay. And then all the roads have embedded in them some type of device that's giving signals, traffic lights. So now you have one, I'm going to say, radio highway that's sending a picture to everybody that wants to look where every car is. Privacy rights all protected, all this stuff, but at least it's giving a location. This could have been prevented.
Yeah.
This is a prima facie case of what I've been saying is going to happen.
Right.
You can't rely strictly on the data from the car,
right,
to protect the driver and everyone else around it, including other drivers and other cars,
but the whole
without any central communication.
Right. But the thing that I've been railing on for years is when you try to make things idiot proof, they just come up with a better idiot. And so the point, in fact, is that the guy is sitting in the driver's seat. He's got the steering wheel in his hand. His feet are got to be near the brake.
I can ask the same question about cell phone usage. What do we have to do with cell phone? We had to ban them.
Right.
Okay? People have a cell phone. Couldn't they? They got the foot on the brake. And they can't even stop. There's people that are falling asleep on the traffic lights on their phones.
Right.
Which is a comment. I've decided that there is now a courtesy honk that goes on at traffic lights.
Yes.
With cell phone usage, and it's not an angry honk.
Yeah.
Agree with me?
Yes.
It's a new social skill that we have now learned.
Boop, boop.
The beep beep to get you going when you're on your phone.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're mad. In the old days when you got honked on, someone was shaking their fist. This is the courtesy beep beep.
Yes.
Okay. And it's a new thing. And I don't know what we should have a name for it. We have to come up with something for it. And then let's take a break and we'll come back and we're going to be right on this GM lawsuit. And I expect we've got someone in the field that's going to call in and talk to us about it.
Yeah, about diesels.
Diesels.
Yeah.
Something about the deacon. I don't know what it is. We'll hear.
The deacon of diesels. All right. We'll be right back. we've got the Deacon of Diesels on the line
Live.
from the secret base.
Yes. And Joan is the only one that knows
Yes.
where.
Yes, the secret location. So how you doing, Jordan?
Oh, not bad.
Good,
Trying
good.
to stay a little dry.
Yeah. all right. Well, I hope you're having better luck than the rest of us. That's for sure.
Jordan, we had said Jordan works at our Crown Car Care location in Palm City. By the way, we have 2 locations, and they're the sponsors of our show. We have one in Palm City. That phone number is 772-781-8000. We'd love to have you as a customer, as a new guest. And we also have one on Cove Road. The phone number there is 283, of course, area code 772-283-4707. We are available. We have plenty of space over there. Mike's been with me for 9-10 years. We are looking for new guests over there and new customers. And please come over and visit us on Cove Road. But we have Jordan as our diesel expert at Palm City, and we're here to talk about this breaking news with GM. And Jordan, why don't you lead the charge and tell me a little bit about what you've heard and what you know about this diesel potential lawsuit going on with General Motors and the CP4 pump.
Well, I caught wind of this probably a couple years ago before the data sheet and the information was really out there, and people kind of called me crazy about it. And I think you were one of them.
I did.
But the light
nothing to
has
see here.
shined. Nothing to see here. Move along, young man.
So you were shaken but not stirred.
He was shaking the tree years ago on this.
Did you get that shaken but not stirred? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, of course. And we've got.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Well,
Moving on.
Go ahead.
GM is in big trouble. This is bigger than the bailout of
GM themselves.
2008.
This is big.
And they're going to have to buy back and repay every single one that had a failed fuel system.
And Jordan, what is it? It's 2011 to 2016 Duramax, but I believe it's other vehicles too that are affected by this potential, probably recall lawsuit that's going to put GM on its knees.
Ford uses the same fuel system.
Yep.
Dodge Ram Eco Diesel.
Yep, the Eco Diesel. I've got that. I've got a list here. You're right. Yep, you got the Eco Diesel. You've also Volkswagen. And who is the manufacturer of these pumps?
Bosch.
And where is this whole underlying issue surfacing, and from what you gather the problem?
While American fuel is by far the cleanest in the world, but it doesn't mean it's the best for injectors and injector pumps.
That's right.
Because they take out a lot of the solutions that
the lubrication, right?
Lubricate. Yeah.
That's right. And the viscosity. It's a super thin fuel, which from what I've read and you've read, it causes aeration. Isn't that part of the compounding of the problem?
Well, that and GM decided to blatantly put their blinders on and not read the disclaimer that says it should not run on American fuel.
And
so we won't go there.
And also, isn't the problem exaggerated due to the fact of most of the manufacturers use a helper pump based towards the back of the vehicle to bring the fuel up to this high pressure fuel pump that's in question? That's the issue. Well, GM did not at the time, 2011 to 2016. And this is also a big part of the problem, right?
Yes. And actually, GM has never had a lift pump or fuel pump on it. Been going since 2001.
And what's one of the things that we sell and perform at Crown Car Care at our Palm City location when we have vehicles come in like that, or even earlier vehicles? What do we always do? Install
fuel pump and a fuel pressure rail plug.
Yeah. What we do at Crown Car Care is if we get a vehicle like this, Frank, in our shop, we're catching this thing. We're selling and installing and performing an enhancement to these trucks by installing a helper fuel pump that we wire in safely to the system that allows a larger volume
an assist
to get the fuel up to this pump. Because what happens on this pump is it has to generate, right, Jordan, about 10 to 30,000 psi?
Yeah.
And I'll repeat that:
Any
10
given
to 30,000 psi. 30,000 psi will cut your finger off in a second.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so how do you get fuel that's in a gas tank up to that pressure? You've got to rotate. You got gears rotating, right, Jordan, or a piston?
Yeah, piston going up and down.
Right. So it's not a diaphragm pump.
It's a metal
pump.
piston in a
Yeah.
bore.
Wow.
So you have to lubricate it, and the lubrication's coming, right, Jordan, from the fuel itself.
Correct.
Keep going. So,
And even if you don't have the lubrication in the fuel itself, it'll aerate itself, which is little pockets of air, and then metal touches metal, and then you'll just be driving down the road, and boop, there you go.
now it
just turns
contaminates
off
the
on
entire system. And what's the cost, Jordan, to repair this mishap?
On a Duramax, it's a little bit more than a Ford because the Ford, yes, they do use the same fuel system as that Duramax does, but the Fords have a helper pump. Which
See,
saves
Fords have the
them
helper pump.
from factory. But on average, a Ford is about $8,000 to $9,000, and a Duramax is $10,000 to $13,000.
I'll repeat that: $10,000 to $13,000 per vehicle. And I don't even know the number out there, but it has to be in the millions. These produced over the years, correct?
Correct.
Has to be in the millions.
Yeah.
Okay, 2011 to 16. How many years you got there? You got 6-7 years. If you're doing 300,000 a year, 7 times 300,000 is what, 2 million vehicles? Now take 2 million vehicles times 10,000. There's people
And that's the money they're going to
that's
going to be the payout.
that's ultimately the payout. That's big money, man.
Wow.
That's big money. And it's not good. And there's going to be punitive damages. You're going to see people have lost their savings, their life. Businesses, I suspect, Jordan, right, have crashed because of this. People have gone out of business because their vehicles have, they've had to sell. We've had a customer that had to auction their vehicle because it was $15,000 for $13,000 to fix it. And he didn't have the money, so he had to sell it. Wow. Right? Lives have been ruined over this thing.
So if you sold your vehicle because of this
you're
problem,
going to be a prime. You'll be getting.
You'll
You'll
get
get a
in
payout.
line.
You'll get a payout.
Yeah.
Just like they've done in the past with other vehicles. Now,
Right.
this is in the infancy. This lawsuit, right, Jordan? This is kind of sort of like breaking news, right? Isn't it?
Yep.
This is not August 8th. Here I'm reading. August 8th is the article I've got here on it.
Wow.
So
All right.
who do you think shaking in the bootstraps right now?
Ooh.
This is a big.
Yeah. So there's
probably the gentleman from GM that said it's okay to run that Bosch pump.
Which is a big mistake. Big mistake. Big mistake.
well,
And you can imagine it would probably blindsided them. I don't think they were preparing for this.
no.
You know what I mean?
Oof.
It's a big number.
Wow.
And I don't know. I don't have it. I don't see daylight on this. I don't see an upside.
Yeah.
All I can see is minimizing, right, Jordan, minimizing payouts. And that would be if GM danced on it and tried to shirk their duties.
Right. So they would maybe offer them another vehicle or something like that.
But imagine, what would God do? God would fix every car that had that issue and not even question it.
Right.
The right moral thing to do
Sure.
is to fix these cars or give the money that people have damaged.
Or extend a warranty on them, or
Do something. But this is not a question of I've got a better argument than you. This is known fact.
Right.
This isn't now GM needs to be shown that to disprove this. This is proven fact what we're talking about here. This is not a sketchy what caused the accident, the tire or the customer braking to. You know what I mean? A lot of times if you have an accident or some type of situation, we don't know the details of what caused it and we have to put a forensic team on it. This is all known knowns. This is not anything new.
Right.
Here.
There's a strong paper trail.
Oh my gosh. There's Bosch data sheets that state this.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Now Bosch is a
German outfit.
German, yes, company.
Robert Bosch. They, back to World War II era.
Yeah.
Big. They started some of the first diesels, right?
Great.
Jordan Bosch was involved in some of the first diesel pumps, right?
Yep.
Isn't that's what's used on Cummins, isn't it? With that one, the P pump.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Actually, a lot of them. BP44 is a Bosch pump.
Bosch pretty much has the market on this pump, except that one that's in my 6.4 Power Stroke is a different brand. Isn't that Siemens?
Yeah, that is a Siemens.
Siemens is your other competitor.
So the interesting thing is, the people who manufacture the pumps, unlike the Takata airbag people, these people are out of the
Okay.
fire because they already did the disclaimer about what this
Well,
product
here's the
will
Takata
will
thing.
do.
Nobody saw the Takata thing coming because it was an unknown variable. This moisture, there was no
Well, just-
cover up. There was no
Right. It was just
GM. This is
they already
just
knew.
bad.
Yeah.
It's a
They
bad.
they put that part on knowing it was going to fail, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was
It's
a
just
matter of
when.
when.
And now they're getting caught.
Yeah.
This is unethics. This is an ethics issue too here
Well, this is a little bit on the same order of
with the cover up, with the schmog, with the VW deal.
VW people.
Yeah, but no
exactly right.
lives were damaged on that other than the Mother Earth.
Right.
This
right,
is
But at the same time, there are also some GM and some Ford dealerships are not covering it under warranty, even though it should be covered under warranty.
yeah. That's a whole nother ball. This is a whole. There is going to be big payouts.
So they're trying to defray the
They're trying to deflect. The dealers are
Deflect it,
deflecting
rather,
that ultimately to the manufacturer
Mhm.
level. This is.
Mhm.
It's not a good.
right.
This whole thing. I would not want to be involved on the other side.
The finger pointing will now commence. Yes.
But it's known knowns.
Yes. But you get enough lawyers.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow. The
Yes, sir.
Deacon of Diesel calling in from the field report.
Nice.
Jordan. Thank you.
All right, and we'll be right back.
Galaxy. What a bunch of a-hole.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just
All right. So the backstory here.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in an airplane.
Let's back up a minute.
All
Let's
right.
set the stage. You
All right.
were to go on a big trip
Right.
undercover, finding out about the deep state of Washington,
Right.
the capital.
Right. So so I'm sitting in this aircraft and I'm watching the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which I've seen several times, but because I'm not that technology savvy, I didn't know how to pull it up on my screen in front of me. So I'm watching it without audio from the young lady and I know that I've seen it so many times. I know the soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
So the Hooked on a Feeling was one of the songs associated with that movie.
Who's that guy with? It's a tree or something.
Groot. I am Groot.
I am Groot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah, it was anyway. So I had to come home right away and play that.
Oh, of course. So let's talk about our
Right.
final subject
Yes.
matter. Crown
Mhm.
Car Care is the sponsor here of this radio show. We have two
Mhm.
locations in Martin County, Palm City, as well as Stewart. 283-4707, 283-4707. Mike will answer the phone. He'll help you out, or Joan will answer. Love to have you as a guest. If you're new to the area, we're a family-run business. We've been in business. We're working on our 14th year.
14 years.
14th year
Wow.
here in Martin County.
That's great.
We've been servicing, I think my one location, we're on 22,000 vehicles that we've written up.
Wow.
22,000. Big number. But Lucas Oil Products is a big consortium company that has all kinds of products that we sell
Mhm.
that will help your car. They're a world leader in heavy duty and high performance lubricants. They have a corporate headquarters in Corona, California, and in Corydon, Indiana is their manufacturing facility.
All right.
Fine products. And I'll tell you, when we get to the end, I'll tell you a little story about I've been up there to their stadium, their racing place where they have a speedway. Indiana Speedway is a big place. And I was up there and I'll tell you a little tale about that and what happened. But the thing I wanted to show, and let me bring this over. And if anyone tune in on our YouTube channel, you can see it live.
Mm-hmm.
One of their big things, their big sellers, and we sell it, is this heavy duty oil stabilizer.
Okay.
And what it does is eliminates dry starts. It's really good for vehicles that have a little bit of mileage on them. And what you do is when you come in for an oil change, we'll put 20% of this in with regular oil that you would normally use in your vehicle. So it's an 80-20. So 20% of the oil Lucas stabilizer goes into the vehicle.
Got it.
Age and inhibiting engine wear, that maybe if your engine's getting a little bit older, you're using some oil. It's known to coat the cylinder walls to prevent oil burning. It really is a good product. There's no bones about it. It's real. It's not snake oil. The stuff is good.
Cool.
And we have a little display here, and I'm going to turn it. We have 3 gears
Mm-hmm.
that are in this clear
Yeah, in
container.
fact, I
Once
can
you
do
turn
it.
them.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right.
here's regular oil.
Right.
Here, I'm going to
So the regular oil.
Here, I'm going to put it right here. Go
All right.
now.
All right. So the regular oil is just going up. There's 4 wheels here, and it's only making it up to the second wheel. It barely is touching the
Can you
third
hear?
wheel.
And it's kind of, there's some friction.
Right. You can hear the
And
gears.
I'm going to do the other one.
Right. And a lot.
There's actually less noise.
less noise, and the oil quickly jumps all the way to the top
Okay,
wheel.
do that one with no. Do that one. Let me hear the noise. Can you do this one?
Wow. Huge.
Isn't there a huge? Can
Yeah.
you listen to audience? Can
Yeah.
you hear the difference?
Oh,
in
I
the
could hear
sound?
it too with my
And
headphones on. Sure.
That's
Yeah.
That's what's going on in your motor.
Right.
So this is a really cool product. Come
Right.
by, call us, ask for it. It's very reasonable.
Yeah.
The price. And it's an oil active. We sell the whole line of products. They have a car wax that's dynamite.
Hmm.
And it smells like bubble gum and cinnamon from Christmas is what this car wax smells like. It's in a spray bottle.
Yeah.
And it's called Slick.
It's like 50 or something.
No, it's a spray. It's a
Alright.
car wax.
Alright.
And I'm a big Slick Mist.
Slick Mist.
And I'm going to tell you, this stuff is the best stuff I've seen for waxing cars. It comes in a spray bottle.
Wow.
And one of the benefits is it smells like bubble gum
Nice.
and Christmas.
All at the
So
same
while you're
time.
waxing your car, you can chew gum and have all your Christmas at the same time. Fine product. I
Wow.
haven't seen a shine. You'll see a shine. It looks like your car's wet when you're done waxing it.
How
with
cool
this
is
stuff.
that?
I'll have to let you try it. on your
Yeah.
car. I'll get you a bottle and you can try it and tell me what you
Nice.
think. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
All right.
But Lucas has a whole battery of products. They've got upper cylinder lubrication. We sell that. It's good for cleaning out diesels and gasoline motors. We've got the oil stabilizer, which I just talked about. They've got a pure synthetic oil stabilizer.
Okay.
They've got octane booster. They've got all kinds of power steering stop leak, which does work. I do use it, not just in vehicles that are leaking. Again, though, a lot of the products that Lucas sells, there's an off usage. You know how like in the medical field, there's off. Something is approved for something, but it really is good for something else
Right,
too.
right.
Off.
Many
I don't know what
products.
it's called. Off something.
Right.
They use it in the medical field. They use it.
Well, yeah. I mean, just about every industry has got
Little tricks products that it really are like a
Label.
life hack. Well,
well, yeah,
one of
label.
these things is
Mhm.
this lubrication that we use in the power steering pumps. We
Mhm.
always put a little bit in when we're doing a power steering pump replacement. It has
Mhm.
superior lubrication properties. I use their oil exclusively in my diesel truck
Mhm.
because it has more of the additives for lubrication, the phosphates and the different high-tech additives that are starting to be banned on the general over-the-counter oil that you can still buy from the local guy, which
Mhm.
is Lucas,
Mhm.
and it really inhibits engine wear. Engine wear is inhibited by this, especially with diesels. And I can get into. We've talked about diesel oil before on here.
Mhm.
The 1540 Magnum long drain truck oil is something that we have at our shop.
So when you rebuild a truck engine or you put in a new replacement engine, you automatically load it up with the Lucas
Yes.
oil products, right?
Yeah, Lucas oil is
Yeah.
just what's so good
That's
about it is
exclusive with Crown Car Care.
yeah, it's
Yes.
real good stuff. And we sell it. It's a little bit more money when you
Mhm.
do an oil change with it or you do the additive,
Mhm.
but let me tell you, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Real good product. I'm not a additive kind of guy,
Mhm.
but this Lucas stuff is just phenomenal. And just come in to see the display that we have. We have a display out in Palm City for everybody to do that crank thing.
Yeah, I watched customers do it this morning. It was a lot
absolutely,
of fun.
it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
The crank.
Yeah.
So just come out and you feel the difference, you hear the difference, and you see the difference, and you're going, "Wow, I want some in my car."
Right?
So and it's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
And you don't have to buy the whole bottle. There's a big bottle here. I don't know what it costs, but $15-20, but we only use like a quarter of it.
Yeah.
So
It's got a
you know what I mean?
long shelf
We're not selling you the whole bottle to put in your
Right.
car. We'll just sell you what you need for
Right.
the oil change.
life. Well, how nice is that?
You see what I'm
Sure.
getting at? I'm not going to pack you up with a big bottle and then throw it in your glove box.
Right.
That's what we do at Crown Car Care. We have all kinds of additives for the fuel systems, for injector cleaners. The injector cleaner and upper cylinder cleaner is a fabulous product. It really works.
Mm.
It's because that's what this company does. You know, it's not an oil company that's just selling oil and gasoline. This is what they do.
Right.
So that's their real deal.
Right.
So they have to have a product because if this product doesn't work, they've got nothing else up their sleeve.
Right.
This is how much bubblegum car wax can you sell? Right?
Right.
If they got the best car wax, but their main line stinks,
Right.
what do you got?
Right.
Nothing. Let me
Yeah.
tell you what happened up in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan
Yeah,
and I,
tell me.
the Deacon of Diesel, Jordan, who just was on the phone, we went
Right.
up to probably the world's biggest diesel event, the UCC Challenge, which is up in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Right.
Well, it was held at the stadium that's owned by Lucas Oil, the Lucas Oil Speedway Raceway. Big place.
That's
15,
convenient.
20 acres, bleachers
Mhm.
everywhere, all kinds of race tracks. They had circle tracks, oval tracks, drag tracks. And this is where this big diesel event was. Biggest. They had all the vendors from all the different diesel manufacturers, the aftermarket, the testing equipment, everything. Just a huge. If you're into diesels like we are at Crown Car Care,
Mhm.
we also like gas. I mean, let me tell you, this is just one of our areas of expertise is
Right.
diesels.
Right.
We had a field day up there,
Mm.
but as we left, a week later, there was a tornado that took the whole place down.
Oh, no.
Can you, the calamity,
Oh,
wh-
NTM.
no, for you, what was that? Hindenburg?
Oh, yes.
Well,
Yes.
how do
The
you say-
humanity. Yes.
For the humanity of it,
Yes. Yes.
that famous announcement.
That's
But
right.
I felt awful.
Yeah.
No one was
Oh,
injured,
yeah.
thank goodness.
Good.
But
Good.
It was just took the bleachers right down. I saw pictures where I was sitting and there was nothing left of them but twisted metal.
Wow.
A week later.
Isn't that amazing? Well, good thing you had an opportunity to
Yes.
check that out.
So we're winding this thing down.
we are.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed our show today, and we'll be back next week I think we have a guest next week. So
Very good. And we're going to be teasing some future guests and other
oh yeah,
activities that
we
we've got
we have a fall schedule
that is
that'll
just-
knock your socks off.
it'll be electrifying.
Yes, yes. Everybody, stay tuned. Bye bye.